Hi, so this is Gordon Williams with Zion Blacksmith School. This is going to be the last of our leaves for a minute, but this is kind of the simple leaf, the simplest of all of them in my opinion. Um, and we're going to make it out of 1/4 by 3/4 flat bar, and we'll go over these steps in a minute. Um, I just want to tell you a few things for encouragement. I've I've been in my blacksmithing. I made my living with a hammer. I've had a blacksmith school since 1994, an architectural shop, production shop. We've done a lot of stuff, big stuff, to having the school has been nonstop since then. Um, but in my life, I think it's a wonder that God used me because I'm really not talented, but I am hardworking. I'm not artistic, but I've had to draw stuff. So if I can do it, I just know that any of you can. And I've been so fortunate to have made my living with a hammer and feeding my children. But I'm going to tell you what makes me a success. I have a wife that loves me. That's a miracle. I have the best of friends in this world that I've met. Unbelievable. They're family. And I'm going to talk about a few of those that's moved me along the way in my life. Um, and this is going to rub some folks the wrong way, but I hate to tell you this. I have the two best children in the world, the two best daughter-in-laws in the world, and the four best grandchildren in the world. The rest is all fluff. So in that respect, I'm successful, I feel. Anyway, going on. So we're going to do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wedged point. And as I do this, it's going to grow sideways or edgeways. And let me grab something here. We want to take that thickness out as we go. So not only are we going to hit it this way, but we're going to hit it on the flat, take that out as we go. Once we got it to a wedge point, holding this flat on the anvil like that, I'm going to turn it over and center line this point so it runs down the center of the steel. And then I'm going to fuller it with a guillotine fuller. And I'm going to take, this is called a fuller mark right here that the fuller makes. All I'm going to do is push this hump down till it blends into the bottom of the fuller mark, and that's going to create this taper. So as soon as that hump goes away, I'm going to be done with that. I'm going to go ahead and spread my leaf, and I'll talk about that as we do this. So let me get started. Okay, so what we're going to make is this, about 1 1/8 taper where it stops. So the beginning of a taper doesn't start here, it starts here. And we're going to taper back. I'm going to probably round the tip up. I'll isolate the leaf mass with a fuller. When I look into my fuller, and you'll see that later, and I'm going to fuller a mark both sides. Okay, I'm going to fuller a mark with a guillotine fuller. When I look at it like this flat, what I see is, I see my taper stops there, and I'm going to add about a 1/4 inch above that, okay, with my fuller. Because as I drive the fuller in, it's going to suck the material with it. If I was right here at my taper, heck, my leaf would only be this big. So I have to know that when I put the fuller, it's going to gather material from both sides with it. And so I'm going to add a 1/4 inch of flat above my taper when I do that. I start out forging. I'm going to be flat on the anvil. I'm going to square off, just so you know, if you were to hang your hands at your side, two things in it, and put them together, you'll end up with a perfect right angle. And that's the way your body's put together. That right angle is just the way it is in everybody. So if I don't fight that, I will always have this arm free. I'll always be able to see what's happening under my hammer, and I'll have less joint tension. As soon as, and I do forge this way, but not now. As soon as I come over the top, watch my elbows go in, just try it. You'll lock in, you're going to have joint tension. If I come here, that's not a 90. Okay? Beginners a lot of times will come here, and first thing they do, see from here, look under my hammer. Watch as I just move. Look how much steel my hammer's hitting. It's going to take me a lot longer than focusing the force on that small area. That's what creates the biggest movement, hitting that small area no matter where it's at. As soon as your hammer tracks way up here, you're moving that much steel, and so is the anvil. It's going to take you to several beats. So focus the force on that corner, as we talked about in the other video, the stylized, and you're going to have the greatest results. So, and it's hard for me to get anybody to do this, but I come over here, I freed my arm up, and I can come in here, hitting only that corner. I can see it. As soon as I move to here, I can't see it, and I'm hitting way too much steel. Okay, so here we go. We're going to attack this corner. As it moves out, I pull the steel back and keep pushing that corner down to the anvil. That way my force is always touching one small spot instead of a lot of area. Okay, let's try it. I'm going to use 3/4 by 1/4 box jaws. This material is 1/4 by 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and make my point. And then I'm going to align my point up to the center. Here we go. Flat on the anvil. Push that corner down. As it gets thick, taking the thickness out of it. Pushing that corner down to the anvil. Again, I'm attacking the corner. And I'm right there. I'm to the anvil. Then take the thickness out. I'm going to line the point up to the center now. Okay. There. And I'm going to round the tip up, getting the diagonals to round my tip. That's the way I like it. I can even move to the horn if I want to get a little curve on it. Okay, doesn't matter. So what we have is a round tip. It could have been straight. I had 1 1/8 taper, and I'm going to set the fuller right here behind that. Get it hot. All right, here we go. We're going to fuller our leaf. I'm going to do my taper plus 1/4 inch of flat. Put it in here. Stand back away from my fuller so I can see it in case it bounces. I can adjust it. Fuller it down, and then draw my taper behind the leaf. When I draw the taper behind the leaf has to stay off the anvil. Okay. Here we go. So I am right 1/4 inch above there. I usually go halfway and flip it. Maybe just a little bit more. Good. Get that out of the way. Leaf is off the anvil. I'm going to push this corner down. Take the thickness out. Push the corner down. Okay, I'm there. And I've kind of got this shape going, okay? Good. Now I'm going to take it out and take what I call the stem off. So when I was making the taper, this has to stay off the anvil. If I come to here and hit, this leaf gets smaller and smaller, because once this is smaller than that, it'll compress these sides. You have a little skinny leaf. So while I'm making the stem, which is behind the leaf off the anvil. Now I'm going to make the leaf. I'm going to pull the stem off. I'm going to hit 3 or 4 hard blows in the center, and then I'm going to come in with an angle blow on this side. See the angle of my hammerhead? And then I'm going to turn my butt this way and angle back in. Angle back in. I'm going to leave kind of a ridge line up the center, having it knife edged on the side, but the tip never hit. Okay, let's do it. Okay, stem off the anvil, leaf on the anvil. I'm just looking at shape. Once I start my shape, I'm going to start moving my sides out. About there. Okay. Clean up. Okay, I'm getting this shape here. Okay. So it's kind of knife edged here on this one. I've left the tip alone, so it's still round. And a knife edge there. And this next one, I'm going to lock it in the vise, and I'm going to do my serrations on the edge, center line, and then I'm going to bloom it. Not with the butt tool that we've used in the other ones, but just with the ball peen. All right. All right, I'm going to come to the vise. Excuse me. I'm right-handed, so right-handed will come in the left side of the vise. I'm going to lock just the leaf in the vise on the bottom half. Leave everything that's a stem out of the vise because it's thicker than the leaf. If you put both of them at the vise at the same time, when you hit the leaf, it'll just bend because the leaf's thinner than the stem. So bottom half of the leaf only. Being I'm right-handed, I come into the left side of my vise because no matter where I'm at, anvil, hammering, I don't know if you can see that right angle. I use that. I don't have joint tension. So thinking about that, I come to the vise, see? And if I do that, I will always be able to see what I'm doing. If I came in the other side of the vise, look at how my elbows do. You know, it's like a monkey humping a football. It's fun to watch, but it don't do much. So let's do that. Here we go. Clamping the leaf only. In the vise, I usually go to the center of the vise and hold a little bit back. Oops. I'm going to come in. My first cut is straight down. Look at my chisel. It's vertical. And then I'm going to come at an angle. And by doing that, it's going to start to release points. I'm going to tighten the vise. I just went and grabbed this one from another station. Yeah, I can get as close or as far apart as I want. Because this leaf's kind of big, I just made them far apart. Kind of your personal thing. I'm going to go ahead and if these little lobes kind of bend over because you got it thin, that's okay. Just get it hot, hit it on the anvil, they'll come right back out. So let's do the other side. And let's turn it off for a moment. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. And then we'll put our center lines and our laterals in it. So I've got that done. Again, I'm in the middle of the vise. This is probably my vise. I'm going to come in straight with the chisel here. And then about the same, I start to drop the angle as I move down. And that'll release points. Now, if I were to come in straight the whole way, these would be square cogs. Here's some of the bending I talked about. That will all come out. Not to worry. So, I don't know if you can see doing that. Sometimes the edge blooms over. Now, just take it to the anvil, usually hot. And it'll come right back out. So let's run a center line and the laterals, and we'll talk about that. Kind of be done. Give this some life and be done. All right, here we go. We're going to run a center line and then the laterals, or the little veins that go up. Try this on your leaf. I'll have a center line down the middle, and then I call those laterals. I don't know what they're called actually. But a lot of times I'll see leaves, and I've done them that go almost straight across. Try it going up at a longer angle. Everything blooms to the tip. Nature's kind of that way. It'll focus your eyes. You'll find it. Try it on yours. See what you like best. But I definitely like them to go up. I'm going to talk about that as I get a center line. What's important here, after I make my center line down the middle, I'm going to use the corner of my chisel as a center punch. Find the center line like this. I don't know if you can see it. Like that. I'm going to give it one tap in, and then I'm going to walk over. One tap in, walk over. Versus here's the center line, and you come in like this. If you do, because this is a curved chisel, which it should be, you'll probably cut through the center line at some point. So I use the corner as a center punch. I walk over. This is natural. See, my arms are still at that right angle. I'm walked over. But this is that monkey thing. See, my elbows go up. So that means my butt's in the wrong spot. See, now I'm back to natural hammer. That's what I want. Okay, here we go. Okay, whenever I put something on the anvil to hold down, I give the element a slap. You never want to start doing chiseling or anything when it's up off the anvil. It's bouncy. You could make a mistake. So always snug your piece down to the anvil. like that, just a little slap. And I'm going to find the center with my corner. I drove it in deep. I haven't started to roll till I got it deep. And that holds the chisel in. Now I'm going to find the center, tap in, hesitate. Especially as this is getting cold. Tap in, hesitate. If I go tap, tap, I will bounce out and I'll have a double line. I hit, hesitate, go. Hit, hesitate, go. It's black. I call this my ugly leaf anyhow. It is better to keep it hot, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Just see how I hesitate and see how I stick the corner in. That's important. Okay? A little deeper. Okay, not the prettiest, but it'll work. It just looks better hot, but I don't want to waste time. Okay, so that's what we got. And now I'm going to give it some bloom. So basically a center line and the laterals, and this is my ugly leaf. Next hit, I'm going to go down to the stump, turn this upside down, and wail in the stump and give this a cup shape, like that. And then I'm going to come right out of the stump, put the tip on the horn, and bloom it forward, and maybe at an angle, because I like that. I like it to give it that S shape. Okay, do that. Okay, last heat. I'm going to take my ball peen, come to the stump, and all the lines are facing down. I'm going to cup it, come out right here, and blow the tip forward. Okay, here we go. Hit it like it owes you money. Okay, so I'm just going to wail on, give it kind of a cup there, come out of the stump, and blow the tip forward, maybe an angle too. Okay. And it's a really kind of simple, flat. It does have a cup in it, but it's a fast leaf, and it kind of looks like a leaf, I think. How you know if this looks like a leaf? Go ask about a 3-year-old. And if they say, man, that's a leaf, that's one way. The second way, if you do something and somebody likes it as much as you and buys it, you're in like Flynn. If it don't sell, quit making it. Happy blacksmithing. God bless.